Dad's finally back from the store, and as a present for being gone so long, let's do another challenge that will eventually make my brain completely smooth. So today we're going to be seeing how many rounds a glorified chimp could survive on Black Ops 3's Der Eisendrache without any ammo. And here's the rules: I can't use any ammo, no death machine power-ups, and no Gobblegums that involve any shooting. I know, what a really long and complicated explanation, but let's leave a like on the video and get right into it. What you're actually watching right now is my second attempt at this because, reasons. Once I did get a new game going, however, I emptied out all my ammo from the MR6 and got to work spinning the Gobblegum machine, and of course I didn't get the one that I was needing, so I spent the next few rounds taking out my frustrations on the nearby zombies. By round 4, I still hadn't rolled the correct one, which is starting to worry me because the starting room is quite close quarters. I was then forced to use my grenades to finish out the round because knifing is just dangerous with a full horde, and I didn't see it as being very point efficient either. Luckily though, on round 5, I finally got the extra credit Gobblegum that I was needing, and I'm truly the luckiest gamer on all of YouTube. And let's be honest here, these challenges are fun, but they can sometimes take me up to 15 hours of gameplay to complete. That's a lot of zombies, and because I'm a zoomer who needs constant stimulation, I usually just watch Netflix while I'm playing. The problem with that is Netflix sucks, and sometimes the content becomes unavailable in my country while I'm still trying to finish my series. So I say, you know what, screw that, I want to finish my anime, and that's why I partnered up with ExpressVPN. With Express's encrypted servers, you can mask your IP address and make it appear as if you are in a different country, helping to protect you from creepy spyware and access to your restricted content. Right here you can see me swapping over to an Australian server while I'm sitting in the UK right now to watch burly battered Goku around. On top of that, Forbes magazine and Tom's Guide both named Express as their #1 VPN service on the market, so that you know they're safe and trusted. Plus, I've actually been using ExpressVPN since early 2021, so it was really cool that a brand that I enjoyed a lot wanted to partner up. Find out how you can get 3 months of ExpressVPN for free by visiting expressvpn.com/Rushin or by clicking the link in the description box down below. Thank you to them for sponsoring the video. Once we stacked all of our points though, it was time to head out with almost 19,000 points to my name by the end of round 5. My route was to go up to the church area and run as fast as I could for the Bowie knife and power switch to avoid getting bitten by the hellhounds. After getting some disgusting ammo, I threw all of it away like a bad friendship and headed for the Juggernaut machine. Luckily, with the way that I'm playing, there isn't a lot to actually purchase in the early game, and it means that I'm never truly stuck in one place for too long and I don't have to back up into a door and wait for points to come around. During this time, I'm also grabbing shield pieces, stepping on tiles for the anti-gravity area, and rotating my Gobblegums to get them ready for round 12. For the next few rounds, I'm just knifing zombies with the Bowie knife because it's still a one-shot, and I'm trying to build up a buffer of points to fall back on later on in the game because in only a few rounds, I'm not going to be able to kill much of anything with this Bowie knife. Alright, time for round 12 and the first appearance of Papa Panzer, and normally I'd shit my pants, but Daddy Luke has a little trick up his sleeve known as Pop Shocks to send Big Homie to the Afterlife arcade. I kind of feel bad though because my man didn't even get a chance to land properly before getting dunked. By the way, if you forgot or you haven't seen Pop Shocks before, you can 1/kill any boss zombie in the game, and it was used a lot in the early days of Black Ops 3, but not so much these days. Now that he's disposed of for a few rounds, I finally built the shield inside of the church and almost cornered myself for, being a little stupid. This is also where I used a trap for the first time this game, and I'm going to get very familiar with those as this game rolls along because I won't have many other ways to kill zombies and get through rounds other than them. And while Der Eisendrache is a good map, it doesn't have many training areas that I would be super comfortable running around in without any way of getting myself out of a corner. That's why I picked Reliable, hoarding up at the death ray. Up there I would be able to turn it on and use it to kill roughly 24 to 28 zombies per activation. You can get a full horde in plus a couple more that spawn in. During these rounds, I'm also continuously needing to cycle my Gobblegums around, making sure that I always have a Pop Shocks ready for that Panzer because it comes every 5 to 6 rounds. And lucky for me, the Panzer on round 17 actually dropped me an insta-kill, which means I can use the Bowie knife and grenades to finish off a big portion of the zombies for that round. By the way, while we're here though, let's talk about the other Gobblegums that I'm using as well, since every single one of them is important to this challenge being an overall success. Mindblown is a Gobblegum not used very often, and I'm not actually sure why. It can kill an entire horde of zombies and has 3 activations, so I would actually rank it as being better than most of the power-up related Gobblegums. Even while trying to get a Ragnarok DG4 piece, it was actually useful in getting rid of the elemental zombies that spawn in while you're next to the teleporter. I'm also using a Killjoy, which is basically 2 insta-kill power-ups, and it lets me get rid of about as many zombies as a death ray activation, so probably about between 25 and 30. And to interrupt that, on round 22, another Panzer got absolutely destroyed, and in the next round, I finally built the Ragnarok DG4s. I didn't actually build it earlier in the game because I have very limited ways of actually recharging it once it's used, so I wanted to keep it for very limited corner escapes. And back to the Gobblegums though, I was also using round robin, but very sparingly since I only actually had a couple of them over on PS4. And lastly, as mentioned earlier, an extra credit to get myself 5,000 points. Round 26 actually shows how well this can work in tandem with me effectively gaining almost 7,000 points and going through 2 entire rounds in only about 90 seconds. Clearly this doesn't always happen because otherwise this video would be a lot longer than it is, but when the stars align it can actually be really cool, and it shows that these Gobblegums that most people don't really think are overpowered can actually get you through a lot of rounds. Little boy Panzer got decimated on round 28 and 33, and I'm not really showing a lot of this stage of the game because at this point things were going about as well as they could have and it was pretty uneventful. At this point I still had a safe amount of points and zombie rates weren't really beginning to get overwhelming yet. I was able to just run around wherever I felt like and didn't feel like they were coming at me too quickly. During this time I also adopted the church's electric trap as a faster way of getting through rounds while the death ray recharges, but I guess I didn't account for me being stupid and downing myself with the trap. And right here I thought that the game was chalked and I'm like, oh shit, I'm actually gonna have to restart this and spend another couple hours on it, but luckily no zombies spawned in front of me while going for Juggernog, and I got out with my ego bruised, but the game was still intact and I could move on. Unluckily for me though, because I did need to spend 5,000 points getting my perks back, and I'm needing to buy more traps every round to keep up with the increasing zombies numbers, my money, just like in real life, is starting to go down really quickly. The extra credit Gobblegums were helping me out, but I'm only able to buy the 1 free Gobblegum every round since a second now is costing at least 8,000 points and going up quickly every new round. And the few insta-kills that I'm getting are also helping, but we're really just hitting the end game here where it's just traps all the way through rounds and trying to use them for as many kills as we can possibly squeeze out of them. Especially with the electric trap, I'm trying to run back through it to take down a second horde of zombies if spawns are good enough and there's nothing really cutting me off. And this also might be a good time to mention that I did track my Gobblegums using a website called Zombicus during this game, and that did help me a lot because the Panzer spawning in at this round without pop shocks is a game over, no doubt about it. But I guess tracking Gobblegums only goes so far when you don't have the points to be able to afford multiple of them. Oh, in case if you're wondering if the Bowie knife is still worth trying to use this round, by 38 I was taking 13 knives to kill a single one of them at full health, and considering there's 153 zombies total on just that round, I think it's kind of chalked and I'm not going to use it very much. And I completely forgot about this as well, but I'm not actually using Widow's Wine because it could get me trapped in corners and it doesn't actually increase the Bowie knife's damage at all, so I felt like it wasn't going to be useful to me and I just kind of left it out. Well, maybe actually it would have been helpful to me here because man, I got my ass cheeks absolutely motherfucking clapped. I had no idea what happened to me and I just couldn't react quickly enough because, like, look guys, right? I'm 23, which officially makes me an internet boomer, so excuse my slow reaction times. I'm not the same 16-year-old on ADHD medication who could see into the 9th dimension that I used to be. But even as a boomer, I still made it to round 40 without ammo, and that was actually pretty fucking cool. But the game's not over yet, actually. On round 40, I pulled a round robin from the Gobblegum machine, chewed it up real good, and then rolled a Killjoy on the next round, which wasn't actually too bad. Because of that Killjoy though, it did actually start to, you know, crank the wheels in the back of my mind, and I was starting to really worry because a Panzer could spawn in next round and the pop shocks is at least 3 rolls away from me. And as discussed at length in this video, I don't have the points to be able to afford multiple Gobblegums, so yeah, the worry is starting to get there. And at the start of round 42, I actually rolled a round robin. Somehow a Hellhound also survived its activation, which I've literally never seen before, and that was pretty cool, but still. So round 43 now since I used that round robin, and yeah, that Gobblegum wasn't very good, and it basically sealed this game's fate. A Panzer Soldat is running behind me, and I only have a small chance of rolling a Pop Shocks if I was to spend every single one of my points just trying to get a second Gobblegums, so yeah, I'm pretty shocked. While trying to figure out what to do, unluckily for me, I got trapped and I used my Ragnaroks for the first time all game while stuck waiting for the jump pad to be usable. My Ragnaroks did hold off the Panzer for a little while, but apparently this rocket test lasts longer than Johnny Sins does, so I got kind of fucked in the end. After being revived, I thought I could get away, but while sliding past the Panzer, he slapped me in the back of the skull, resulting in me being dead. Oh well, you know what, 43 rounds for this challenge is actually pretty fucking good on Der Eisendrock, and I had a lot of fun. Before you go, like the video and sub if you enjoyed, maybe check out the video on screen right now, or go into the description and check out ExpressVPN for yourself.